ultimate skills are just too good to just be thrown out for free. And you get 25. I'm sorry, Zelda players. I'm not trying to make you guys have to find like a new village. But it's a bit crazy right now, man. Fukuhara's here. First off, glad that so many Skyfarers have picked up both the full and free editions of Granblue Fantasy Versus. That's great. Last year, I'm humbled by all the player-run events being held both in Japan and overseas. I'd like to find even more ways to engage and support our community in the future. You know, it makes me sad. I'm curious, how much did Rising make in terms of sales? I will hope at least 500,000 by the time, right? I think it's going to take a minute to get a million. Thank you for playing Granblue Versus Rising. You're welcome, bro. Despite these tournaments being held so soon after the game, they gathered a massive tournament. I was blown away by all the skill. Oh, you mean all the Niers and the enthusiasm I witnessed in the arena, and no words can express how grateful I am both to the participants and our partners who made this event possible. Just tell us that you like Nier, bro. On February 20th, we'll be rolling out the version 1.21 held last July. We introduced an overhaul to battle mechanics, which have impacted the game more ways than anticipated. The team is currently has its hand full with bug fixes. So it sounds like that they had something in mind, but there's just a lot of stuff going on. And it makes sense because if you make an update for like certain platforms, it costs money. Now, I think it has nothing to do with the Arc World Tour because this company is known to drop in patch 2 weeks before the fight. So I don't believe that it has nothing to do with the tour. And you gotta understand, this company is not like a big company. They don't have a lot of people. As for what to expect in the future, our team has been poring over post-release data and player feedback. We expect to implement our first balance up in our next patch 1.30, which update will take place after the Arc World Tour schedule 2023 finals, scheduled for March 24th. We aren't planning any major changes that will affect the entire roster. These updates are meant to pinpoint some of the more lacking characters. I think having more good characters is good because that means that more people who are playing those characters can get to try to fight the good characters. I do think that they need to at least tone down a little bit, and even with this context of right here, but when they say pinpoint, that means that their main focus is to make sure the characters who are not good really good. Let's say, for example, I released this and I was like, all right, Nier players, you guys have been having fun too long. We're removing everything. You know what that's going to do? That's going to discourage people who actually like Nier to play. And then people are going to be like, oh, if my character just do well, then I'm just going to have to just switch characters because the person's going to attack my character regardless. So they got to make it in a way where they like, yo, we're going to support the low tier character, which they should. There's a lot of characters that are not as strong. And when I mean not as strong, meaning that like they are not in compared to like 4 characters that everybody loves to play. I don't even want Nier to be bad. If they would nerf her health alone, I wouldn't complain. At least when you hit that little girl, you send her to Cancun. There's a couple of things that I want to talk about, what the changes that I would like for this game. But we're going to continue on reading this because this is really important. Holy crap. You know how amazing this change is? Because when you go to offline tournaments, you guys don't know how bad the PS4 loading is in this game. Even the character select screen that is lagging. In-person events will be more enjoyable, so that's really nice. I hope that it's super low. But the balances that I would want for this game, I think the biggest balance so far for me, not talking character, but I think the ultimate meter usage should be readjusted. If you do a raw ultimate and it hits and you get meter back, I think you only should get it one time in a combo. If you do it in a combo, you only get the refill one time. I think that is the biggest change. Unfortunately, yes, rip Avatar Belia players, but I think they should get changes that doesn't make it seem like that system is gone. If your character is revolved around that ultimate, they just nerfed it completely, then those characters are done. I also think that if you do like a damage starter of like an ultimate skill that is still on cooldown and you do the ultimate move anyway, I think your whole combo should be scaled. There's no way that the first hit should be scaled and then everything else don't matter. Or what they could do is that if your ultimate skill is on cooldown and you do the ultimate attack and it hits, you don't get the meter return. I think a lot of characters' ultimate skills are just too good to just be thrown out for free. And you get 25. I'm sorry, Zelda players. I'm not trying to make you guys have to find like a new village. But it's a bit crazy right now, man. And I also think they should make it where if you do easy input SSBA, you shouldn't take the 2 BP. You only should take 1. But if you do the actual input, you should take 2. Yeah, SSBA is mad to comeback, but it's not like you could just do it and like on block it works. We all know 6SL is definitely the talk of the day. But I think on recover, the recovery should have more recovery. You should be able to like whip punish if it whip. I hate that Zooey lightning loops feel so weak and with so many defensive options, but that's just the game. I mean, I like the defensive options in the game. I think this defensive option is good. Now, that gives me to what I was going to talk about. I think bravery counters doing damage has to go. It's too brain dead. I think it being +6 is okay. However, I think it doing chip damage is nuts. I think it should be one or the other. I'm choosing get rid of the chip because even if it's not plus and you just sit there, anytime you just do like anything, you just do it. You just do it. And then they knock you down and you know how oppressive the characters are right now. So the fact that they just get mad chip and then they checkmate you, it's brainless. How I feel about jumping in Granblue Versus. Jumping is good for some characters. I think anti-air should be punished. I don't think you should be able to jump for free. However, I think the way they designed 6XL was for people to use that to kind of like get out of bad situations. So that's why I don't want 6XL to be 0 on block. As for character changes, Nier has to get toned. Lancelot is hard for me to say. Lancelot is just very good, but he's been good literally since the game existed. I don't think Lance has ever been bad. I don't mind Lance combos being long, but they should like not do the damage he does, if that makes sense. Do I think Lance is better than 6? I think so, because Lance offense is like oppressive across the board. But I think CX is good because if you play like a certain archetype, he just beats that archetype free. Oh, you throw a projectile? Well, I have projectile info move. Oh, you don't have like good anti-airs? Well, I have like 5 jump on. Lance, oh, you put me in the corner? You're in the corner. You got 0 winning? Winning what? The whole tournament? With Charlotta? I don't know about that. I think he's a great player though, but I don't know about beating all of the Niers. I mean, I don't like Charlotta either, but Charlotta right now is like the hero. Compared to what we see all the time, Charlotta's the hero right now. So I have no choice but to put my differences aside and root. I gotta root. That's what I'm saying, bro. But I already knew he was gonna lose, man. It's just, you know why? It's not because it has nothing to do with him. It's because that when you're in the tournament and you're playing for like X amount of hours and you're playing a character that takes so much like commitment in a lot of ways all the time, and you fight characters that are just like doing the proximity skill rotators for 8 hours, you're going to lose eventually. Can you expand on the proximity skill rotators? Okay, I'll give you an example. Every time you fight Nier, what do? They just sit there. And the moment you like do something, they just DP. They just instantly like you run into a certain spot on the screen, they just DP. Even if it's blocked, they get pressure. And if you get hit, they get a full combo. Oh, you walked in towards like their sweep range, they just do the sweep. Sweep skill. That's why I call them proximity skill rotate. When you walk to a certain proximity range and then they just do the same thing. And it's so strong with the character that is actually a strong strategy to do. So I call them proxy skill rotate. You walk in their proximity range, they just do the thing. Now, mind you, people are going to get mad, especially Nier players. They're going to get mad that I'm talking about this. But the real Nier players that knows what's up, I don't got to worry about them getting mad at me. But 99.9%, oh, you should be congratulating me. That's what they're going to tell me. I'm not thankful at all. I mean, I don't think Metera is that great. I do think that when you're playing in like an online environment and like, you know, people don't know how to deal with like zoning you out, I will have to admit that I feel like there's a lot of players that play these games that don't know how to fight zoning. But I think once people get comfortable, then I think that they'll see why that character is not as good. You definitely have to have a different mindset fighting that character. That character can shoot you for a very long time. I wouldn't even say you only play to crack at it because dash blocking has nothing to do with knowing how to fight zoning. You literally can go and down back to the fastest frame. So like you just dash block. That's anybody can do that. That's why stride zoning's not that good. The problem is a lot of players fall off from those hurdle characters, which why they dropped the game. That's why they nerfed those 2 archetypes. They buffed grapplers because they realized that people like getting close, but they nerfed zoners dominantly, so you don't get that satisfaction. Yeah, Metera making people quit is funny. So I think the characters that is fine. This character's fine. I think this character is great. This character, she's great. I think she needs a little bit more. Not much, but a little bit more. I think this character is fine, just a little bit more. I think this character is fine. I just think this character is mad good. I think this character is fine. I just think his ultimate skills need to be adjusted. This character's fine. This character's fine. This character's really good. A little bit more help. She's good. This character needs a lot of help. Narm is good. Soris is fine. This character needs a slight tad bit of help. Just tad bit. Good. This character needs a lot of help. And this character needs a lot of help. This character, he's cool. I mean, CX, Vera, good. Needs some changes. He needs a health change, I think. Amelia, she needs a little bit of good changes. Siegfried's really good, so I think he's fine. Grimnir is really good. We all know how we feel about this character. And this character just needs a slight change. But I think the biggest characters that really needs the help is these three. I think these three needs a lot of help. I think everybody else is fine, man. We don't have a date for Vayne. Now I think Vayne is what, like they said, like April and June. Or is it April and May? Yeah, isn't that around with Granblue anniversary time frame? That's what around that time is, right?